Hi everyone. Um, this is probably going to be my second podcast by the time I upload it, and I'm not sure what the theme is because I planned for something else, and we'll see. So basically, what I wanted to do was to record. I wanted to explain either my birth story or MaterniTeach. But whenever I tried to record it on my own, it felt very. It just didn't feel natural. It felt pretentious. I just didn't like it. So I figured if I talk to someone like my husband, then the conversation will flow better. I won't feel as awkward, etc. So I asked him if he can prepare some questions on a subject area, not to tell me what the questions are. Okay, honey. Not to tell me what the questions are, so that I can respond like naturally and authentically, and that's what you're gonna be watching now. Beyond that, I don't know how to introduce the video because I'm not sure what subject the actual subject you chose.
So maybe I should do my own
Yes,
little
please,
intro.
yeah.
Okay. So, hi everyone. I plan to speak with Jackie and I guess uncover what's behind this momentum towards bringing awareness to the travails of moms returning to work.
Not travails.
And I suppose that's one thing you're doing. And then the other thing you're doing is actually helping people involved with practical steps.
Okay.
So, on one hand, moms returning to work. On the other hand, HR professionals or managers who are accommodating this return. And then I know that you're doing stuff on the hypnobirthing side as well.
Okay.
So I'm trying to cover all of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll see how far we get.
Thank you. No, I like that. It's actually quite thoughtful because I didn't think that far. Okay, yeah, thank you. Good.
Okay. So my name is Timmy, and I suppose the first place to start, a good place to start would be, what inspired you to start MaterniTeach and why now?
What inspired me? Okay. So when I knew I was pregnant with Neo, I knew I wanted to do hypnobirthing. And when I studied hypnobirthing and I had a successful hypnobirth, I was like, I think I would like to potentially teach family and friends because I'm like rambling about hypnobirthing, but I don't actually have the right terminology.
But how did you know you wanted to do hypnobirthing?
Because when I joined my current company, the one I work for, in one of the early days, I met someone. She also was a new starter like me, and she had just had a baby. And she was saying that she had an amazing birth, she had an amazing pregnancy, and she was raving about like how positive it was basically. And I was like, I've never ever heard anyone talk about how wonderful pregnancy and birth could be. So it caught me, and she actually gave me an Instagram account that she followed, a book that she read, and she was like, I highly recommend it to anyone who wants to have a positive birth. There's a whole framework here. So that kind of put me on alert, and I wasn't even pregnant, but I said when I do get pregnant, I want to do hypnobirthing.
Okay.
So fast forward to Neo, I remember then I made sure I did it, and I did have a very successful, it was a pleasant birth. I loved it.
Okay.
So yeah. So after doing that, I was considering learning how to be a hypnobirthing teacher because I would talk to friends and family like, oh my God, guys, I don't know about this. This is more hypnobirthing. It's so cool. Like, it's all about reframing your mind. It's about speaking positively. It's about all of this stuff. But I wasn't using the right terminology, so I felt like I was just waffling. So I wanted to learn how to like properly teach and educate people. So fast forward to when I was pregnant with Eden, I decided to take the leap and study to become a hypnobirthing teacher. I did hypnobirthing for her as well, again as a pregnant woman, and her birth, the labour was also very manageable compared to what it could be, in my opinion, if I didn't have like those tools and stuff. So when I did that course, I decided, okay, I'm going to launch my own course and teach people. But then as I was thinking about the commercial feasibility of it, I realized, also brainstorming with like friends and things like that, I realized that there's also a major issue. So hypnobirthing is one thing, women are scared of birth and not sure how to manage the experience, not just in terms of the pain, but also in terms of dealing with healthcare professionals, like advocating for yourself and stuff. So that's one element of the whole maternity transition. But then the second element is when you're actually returning to work, so after you've given birth and you're trying to get back into work or you're trying to rediscover yourself. And I kind of figured that, well, I realized that there's a lot of support for pregnant women. But the second baby's out, it's like, all right, bye. You're on your own. People are looking at the baby and wanting to like gush over the baby. And then at work, it's like, oh my God, you've had a baby. Congratulations. Can you file this tomorrow? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, actually, that's just one element of things. I can actually do a lot more to kind of address the issues that mums are facing if I also tackle the postpartum lifestyle thing, because I was having those issues.
So you were thinking of like a holistic approach to motherhood and work life. Like that's how, because it's interesting. It starts from, oh, I'm having a baby. Oh my God, what is that experience going to feel like? The actual pushing the baby out. Oh, there's this thing called hypnobirthing. Oh, you delve into it and then you see that there's a lot of gems in there. Yeah. And then you actually have the baby and you return to work and you're like, whoa, there's this big gaping hole that no one's paying attention to.
Yeah.
I wonder maybe 5 years from now, there'll be something else. There'll be something else that you'd see. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got an interesting question. So if you could describe your motherhood to date in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
I love it. I know it's not a word, but I love it.
Okay.
Let's say love is one word.
Sure.
Love, because I love being a mum. I love my kids. I love the version of myself when I'm with them. I feel like I'm so much more patient than I am as a normal person when I'm with them. Things that would annoy me, I've got time for them. And I love that part of me because I'm like, oh, so you can do it. You can be patient. So I'll say love. I'll say patient actually because, that explains it.
Say,
love, patience, or I'm patient, and resilient. Because there are days where I haven't had a bath. There are days where I don't have time to eat. There are days where, because you haven't slept, your mood is just pants. Like you're just so moody, you're cranky, you've got a headache, you're just not feeling good, but you have to keep going because you haven't got a choice. You've got kids, they've got stuff to do, you've got to change a nappy, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, got to support you because you're with Neo a lot of the time as well. So you just have to keep pushing, and it's like, oh wow, like I'm actually strong, like I'm actually resilient. So
love, patience, and resilience.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay. I'm thinking along the lines of someone who has 2 under 2. Any woman out there who has 2 under 2. If you had to give them like or is about to have another one. If you had to give them a quick heads up, what would that look like?
Okay. Still do it. So still have the second baby.
Yeah.
Do it because they're wonderful. However,
Okay.
pregnancy with a toddler, wild. You can't even, you want to play with them. You want to like bend down and do stuff, but you actually get to a point where you can't bend. I can't describe it. Pregnant women, you guys will know. You can't bend down though. So it's actually difficult for you to physically play and interact with them. That's tough. Then you're exhausted all the time. So you don't even have the energy to play with them. So that's tough too.
Yeah.
And then you have all sorts of aches and pains. You know, I had really bad pelvic pain with Eden, when I was pregnant with Eden. So it meant that even like walking around and stuff was really difficult.
Right.
So again, it was physically very tasking being pregnant with a toddler. So I I didn't even think about it. I just thought, oh, pregnancy is what it is. Pregnancy is gonna be pregnancy.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how much harder having a child would be. People say it, but the reality.
I wonder how, like, you heard the statistics, and there's quite a number of single mothers out there. Imagine if, like, you're a single mother and you have 2 young children.
People really need help.
That must be...
Yeah, people really need help. And you know, like, obviously, because, like, back home, we have a lot more of a community feel. So...
people can take care of people.
Yeah, we take care of each other. Like, you have house helps as well. But here, it feels a lot more... When I say back home in Nigeria, it feels like a lot more like you're on your own. Yes, you still have friends and family, and you do look out for each other. Yeah. But it's not the same. Culturally, and the way people move is just not the same. So I don't know how they do it. It's not easy.
Many women, this is an assumption, but I think it's a reasonable one. Many women are afraid of the process of giving birth. Where did you stand before you had Neo, our first child? Where did you stand?
Before I answer that, I just want to answer the second element of the first question, which was
how do you cope?
Not a heads up to women who want to have 2 under 2. So the first thing is the pregnancy, and then the second thing is when the baby comes, it's literally it feels like you have 2. Well, you do have 2 babies. They're both in nappies. They can talk, but they can't talk. So what did you say? You're guessing still. Your toddler is pushing boundaries. They're developing so fast. So they've started throwing tantrums. They still want you're their mum, so they're still wanting cuddles and to be held. So you're holding a baby in one arm and a toddler, a heavy toddler in the other arm. It's wild. It's just it's different ballgame. So have the baby, but mentally prepare and make sure that if you have support, just think it through. Nursery fees, plan it financially. The logistics between sleeping, you and your husband, who's going to tackle, just plan everything through, but it's doable. It's hard, but I like it, so I'm telling you to do it. Okay, sorry. What was your recent question?
Should we take a pause so that we can settle Eden?
I'll edit the booby out. Once I latch her, she's good.
Okay.
I'll just I'll crop it where the nipple comes out, and then I'll let the video keep playing afterwards.
Okay.
All right.
I'll still wait for you to latch on. Okay, so my question was, were you scared of the natural birth process before you had your first child?
Very. My biggest fears as a kid, top 3, childbirth. I was scared of injections. I was scared of animals, especially dogs.
All animals.
All of them, even the little ones, all of them. And then childbirth. I couldn't even conceptualize. What do you mean I'm going to push something out of me? How? And every time you watch a movie, it's the worst or the most dramatic version on
it's
childbirth.
Funny, obviously, now that we've had kids, whenever I watch those scenes in movies, I just roll my eyes. It's like... it's obviously dramatic, and it's not... what always gets me as well is how quickly everything happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sorry, go on.
No, that's actually a good point, because the reality of it is that it's really slow. You can be in labour for hours.
You can be in labour for a day and a half.
And sometimes the first few hours, yes, you can feel contractions, but they're not crippling. You're like, oh, okay, I just had a contraction. Should we get some tea? You're not immediately it doesn't work that way.
My water just broke. Oh my God, get the car. And then immediately as you're driving there,
the baby starts coming out in the back seat. No.
Okay, sorry.
So yeah, I just had a very negative impression of childbirth. Painful, dramatic, negative. And but I knew I wanted to be a mum so bad. That's one of the reasons I kept pestering you, because I wanted to have kids so badly. So the fear wasn't enough for me to not want to have kids, but it was enough for me to know that I need to do something about this.
But you decided consciously that you wanted a natural birth, because today, there's so many processes in place that people can just opt out or do a cesarean section.
Yeah.
What was behind that decision, intentional decision?
I think it's just personal preference. As a personally, as a person, I'd like all things natural. So I like my nails to be my nails. I just get gel. I know I'm wearing a wig, but this is my postpartum wig. This is because I've got hair loss underneath. Normally, I never wear wigs. I like my braids, my natural hair. I barely wear makeup. I just like things just left as they are, you know? So I think because that's just generally how I am, I also like the idea of, leave me alone, don't intervene, just let me do what I'm doing. I can push the baby out. I'm good. I don't want any drugs. No, I don't want any medicine. No, I don't want any drugs. That's just how I am. So I think I was always going to want, which is why I found the whole idea of childbirth so scary, because I know myself. I know I'm going to want to push the baby out. So how am I going to push the baby out? Can I just say though, as much as a personal preference, the more I've spoken to women who've had C-sections, the more I realize that I'm scared of C-sections. So let me not say scared, because hypnobirthing does a lot of... It educates you enough to know that there's nothing to be scared of. But the idea of C-section to me is not appealing. It sounds very, very tough, recovery-wise. It's major surgery. They're cutting through several layers to get to the baby. Just there's so much about the C-section experience that also is very challenging. So I don't think either it's easier or either it's harder. I just think it's a preference thing. So I just wanted to give birth naturally. Also, like feeling everything. I wanted to know what it felt like. As much as I was scared of it, I wanted to know.
So what was there anything surprising about the natural birth when you actually went through it?
The pain is mad. It's mad.
That was so.
Do you know what it is? Because you gash it, so you do hypnobirthing, you're like, yeah, I'm ready for anything. I can do it. And when you study hypnobirthing, you see videos of other women who have really serene, and our birth was peaceful, both of them were really peaceful, but I mean serene to the point where some women have painless births, they actually don't have any pain, or some women have orgasms during birth. So you gash yourself, said, I'm going to be one of those women who's going to have...
Who's going to orgasm during birth?
I'm telling you. So when the pain kicked in, I was like, oh. And it's one of the... So when
didn't you immediately just go into panic mode and overdrive?
No, because hypnobirthing. No. You're so mentally prepared for the experience. There's no overdrive to kick in. There's no panic mode to kick in. My default is to lean deeper into relaxation and lean deeper into breathing.
So the more painful it feels, the more reminded you are to focus on letting go.
It's almost like the pain is so shocking. It's like, oh, I don't have the luxury of panicking right now. I need to really just take control of the situation. If I start panicking, it's game over. Because it got to a point for me where I was like, I'm going to ask for an epidural. I was biting my tongue. So I was like, if I open my mouth, I'm going to ask Timmy or this woman, this midwife here, okay, can you just talk me through the epidural options again? And I really didn't want one. So I was fighting myself because I knew I didn't want one. But the pain, every time you think you've gotten used to the pain, the next contraction is even more.
I know this is not, I'm sure there will be lots of ladies who would abuse me, but as you describe it kind of feels like when you're at the gym, or let's not say at the gym, maybe when I used to run. So maybe you're in your 13th mile. And it's everything you just want to stop, but there's a good pride in you that kicks in, and you're just another one.
For me, yes.
Okay.
I'm sure some other women will say no, that's not how it is. But for me, yes. After I complete a contraction or a surge, for the hypnobirthing ladies who are very particular about words, and when I complete a surge, I'm like, oh, I got through that. Thank you, Jesus. And I think that's another thing as well. Hypnobirthing teaches you to use affirmations, and I did Christian hypnobirthing, so I'm using scripture to keep me going. So I'm literally thanking God that I got through that one, because every surge takes me closer to my baby, and it's so true. So I'm like, oh God, I got through another one. Thank you, Jesus. I can do everything. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, God gives me strength. Thank you, Jesus.
It's weird because that sounds to me like the whole psychological stance of progress It's like that how cup half empty or half full. It's like with every surge I'm closer. As opposed to, oh my god, the surge is coming, oh gosh, how am I gonna handle that?
But do you know the funny thing? That's how you feel all the time, because especially in the beginning, it's like you can feel the pain, but it's bearable. But the closer you get, so the more dilated you get, the deeper your baby's head descends, the more painful it becomes, or the more intense the sensations are. So there is a huge part of you that's like, oh my god, there's another one coming. But again, what I learned was you need to learn how to relax in between the surges, because otherwise what we're discussing is tension. Instead of you just, okay, the surge is over, I'm going to relax, recoup, center my mind, you're tense because you're waiting for the next one. And what happens when you're tense is that it's more painful. There's a fear, tension, pain cycle they talk about in hypnobirthing. It's like a psychological thing as well. It's a physiological thing. And when you're scared, you tense. And when you're tense, it creates pain. It makes pain more obvious, etc. And then the more pain you experience, the more scared you are.
And the more tense you are.
It just compounds.
So it's a loop.
Yeah, so once you understand that, which is why I said the pain reminds me to calm down, because if I start panicking, the next one's going to feel even more painful, because you're literally fighting yourself. You start tensing, you're holding your breath. It's not going to work, so you need to relax. So
okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, for someone who hasn't done the hypnobirthing course, they haven't taken your course, and they just want like pointers to remember. It sounds like I'm going to really condense this. I'm sure there's a lot more, but it sounds like at the core of it is an intentional stance to relax.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you use the words lean in. It's like I'm leaning into this experience, and part of it is beyond my control, and the part that is within my control is my ability to interpret what I'm feeling in a positive, grateful light.
Yes, that's really good. I like how you phrase that. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And then you have
maybe I should have a baby.
No.
Okay,
No.
go. Yeah.
But yeah, and I think just to add to that as well, visualization helps. So even at the start of your pregnancy or before you're pregnant, just as often as possible, what do you want? Like, see in your mind's eye, think about it, imagine it's already happened. In the Bible, it tells us to pray as if what you're asking for has already come to pass. Believe it with your whole chest. And I think that's so important, visualization. Because if you're visualizing your baby coming out smoothly, if you're visualizing the birth you want, if you visualize maybe sometime in the future where you're chilling with your husband and your baby, or chilling with your mom and you guys are like taking pictures of the baby, whatever makes you excited and happy, visualize it. And that helps to keep your mind positive and keep you looking towards the future with hope as opposed to dread. It's so important. So, yeah.
Okay. So, what do you want every pregnant woman to know about their own body and birth options?
There's so much, and I don't want to butcher things by trying to waffle now. But I think my main takeaway from both births, and also speaking to friends and family who are pregnant and who have given birth, is self-advocacy.
Okay.
You need to be able to speak up and advocate for yourself. Throughout the whole pregnancy, whether it's at work, with your midwife, with a doctor, with your husband, you need to speak up. I need something. I'm tired. Something doesn't feel right. What does this mean? I don't understand. Can you explain it further? If we take this option, what does that mean for the baby? What does that mean for my health? Set boundaries. Speak up. You need to advocate for yourself, because pregnancy is extremely difficult. Being a mum is very challenging. They're both very rewarding. And I had wonderful experiences with pregnancy and birth. Some people don't. They have very, very difficult pregnancies.
Yeah.
There's something called hyperemesis, HG, and it's where you're like constantly sick throughout the pregnancy. Some people throughout, some people just for a few months. I had 2 friends with really bad HG where they couldn't work. they were in A&E, throwing up, things like that. Now imagine if you don't feel empowered or comfortable saying I need something or something's not right or whatever it is. You really need to speak up, and it's not easy. It doesn't come easily to people. Personalities are different. Your situation, maybe you don't have a lot of support at home, whatever it is. But I please, if you're watching this video, go and figure out how you can advocate for yourself, speak up, find someone who can advocate for you. So that's another thing. If your birth partner, God willing, first of all, if you have a birth partner, but if your birth partner is someone you trust, this is where you guys are collaborating. This birth you're both in it together. Tell them what you need. That's what a birth plan is for. So you can outline your needs, make sure your birth partner is aware. So when you're in the throes of labor, you don't have to worry about anything. Your birth partner's got you. They'll say, no, she doesn't want that. Oh, before you put that in her arm, what is that, please? Like, they're your, is it ride or die? Or they're your pillar, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like I say, even at work as well. So if you guys are going back to work and you're nervous about maybe flexible working, or you're nervous about maybe your kid doesn't sleep well, and you're nervous about how you're going to wake up in the morning and go to the office every day, and, you know, when you're sleep deprived, tell your manager, let them know, and record it. Let it be known that you spoke up and it was recorded that your manager said this and this is what you guys agreed. So that's my biggest advice. Speak up, advocate for yourself. And off the back of that, it's easier to advocate for yourself when you're informed. So go out there and educate yourself, preferably from reputable sources, people who have courses that have been backed by medical professionals.
Like MaterniTeach.
MaterniTeach.
Yeah.
I'm going to have midwives and everyone else contribute on the course, but educate yourself basically. Make sure that you know what you're talking about, so that where there are gaps, you're clear. Oh, actually, this has never been explained to me, or I've never heard of this before. And then you can ask questions, because then you're more comfortable to speak up. So that's my biggest.
Okay, I actually want to delve into the return to work bit a little bit more. But last thing I had on hypnobirthing was, are there any myths that require bursting? Hypnobirthing myths, I mean.
Let me think. Myths that require bursting. I wouldn't say a myth, but a perception of hypnobirthing is that it's just for women who want natural births. Oh, actually, can I give you two?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, I've got two. So one of them is that hypnobirthing is just for moms who want natural births, and it's not true. Hypnobirthing is grounded in hypnosis, hypnotherapy, and the tools you learn. So, you know, reorienting your mind, visualization, breathing exercises, which we haven't spoken about, but powerful. Those are all hypnotherapy-based principles, right? So you can use that, you can apply this to any kind of birth. For example, if you have a C-section, yes, you don't need to do breathing exercises to deal with the pain, but you do need to use breathing exercises to help you calm down, because you're literally awake during the surgery. You can't see your baby. There's a screen in front of you. Maybe your partner's just holding your hands and you've got a bunch of people around you just cutting you open. You're waiting for your baby to cry.
I never knew that you're awake for the procedure.
It's mad, you're awake.
Wild.
So you can't feel pain, but you can feel what's happening. Wild. So you might panic. You might be like, oh my God. Or maybe maybe it wasn't a planned C-section. Maybe it was an emergency C-section, which is heartbreaking.
Oh my God, that's really heartbreaking.
Exactly. So breathing exercises can help you calm down. Everything's fine. Everything's in control. I trust my medical professionals. My partner's here with me. My baby's in good hands. I'm going to meet them soon.
Okay.
In for 4, out for 6. Very useful. Also visualization. You can visualize whatever you want. Even if in the moment you've just found out you're going to have an unplanned C-section, start visualizing, I'm going to see my baby in about an hour. Or I think our friend had one, it was like 15 minutes. They were like, the whole procedure is quite quick. So I'm going to see my baby in X minutes. I'm going to hold my baby. Visualize your baby in your arms. Visualize when they give your baby to you and you can see their face for the first time. That will keep you going. So, that's the first myth. It's not just for natural births. Hypnobirthing will help you in any kind of birth. It will help you stay calm. It will help you stay positive. And then the second thing is that hypnobirthing means no pain. That's not true. It was very painful, but hypnobirthing helped me deal with the pain, so I can have the natural birth I wanted without any medication.